a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.headgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
You got us on your wallet. Bobby, again! What's this drama?
Drama? Colleagues, elections for special interest groups are calling. SIGs, elections, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time to vote for our leaders, June through August. From village to parish to district to nationals, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time, go vote your leaders.
No!
F-O-B! Elections are supposed to be peaceful. Easy vote, okay?
Youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Juko.
Yo.
What you check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the Pearl of Africa. In case it is your first time in Uganda, you're in your hotel room and you're watching us. We are the national broadcaster, UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and this morning we are going to be talking matters of oil. Now, I know many Ugandans, when you talk about oil, it's a dream that we are waiting to see come true. But in our talk this morning, you'll be able to know how far are we as far as the company, the government-owned company, to run this on our behalf as Ugandans. Now, what am I talking about? That is UNOC, the Uganda National Oil Company. And joining me on set to discuss this as they celebrate or commemorate 10 years of existence, that is UNOC, I have Angela K. Ambaho, who happens to be the Senior Public Relations Officer of UNOC. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Robert. It is nice to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure hosting you, knowing that you are going to discuss the journey of UNOC, 10 years, but also having an insight into how far we have gone when it comes to upstream, downstream, and of course midstream regarding the various areas in our oil process. Now, to begin with, for the benefit of my viewer, when you talk about UNOC, please give us more about UNOC, its mandate, briefly.
Thank you very much for hosting us, Robert. It is always a pleasure to be on the Uganda Broadcasting Commission. As a Uganda National Oil Company, we like to partner with our sisters in the struggle. So the Uganda National Oil Company is the company that was created by government to participate in the oil and gas sector. And our overall mandate is to ensure that the resource, which is the petroleum resource, is commercially exploited for the benefit of all Ugandans. And under there, UNOC is a virtually integrated company, which means that we operate across the entire petroleum value chain in the upstream, midstream, and downstream. In the upstream is where we would do exploration and development of the resource. In the midstream is where you have the refining and transportation. So under there, UNOC has the 60,000 barrels per day refinery. And we also have that's where we participate in the East African crude oil pipeline, the 1,443 kilometers long heated pipeline from Hoima to Tanga in Tanzania. Then in the downstream is where you have storage terminals. So we operate the Jinja storage terminal, and we are going to construct another storage terminal in Pigi, in Namoambula. So we operate across the entire petroleum value chain, but our main purpose as UNOC is to ensure that there is value for future generations. So everything we do, we must look at, are we creating value for future generations? Are we participating in a way that leaves the environment healthy for future generations? Are we adding to the national GDP that will help future generations? Are we spurring industrialization for future generations? So while the resource is depletable in the sense that the resource will end at some point, but we must have created value that your children and your children's children will benefit from in the future. So that is UNOC in a nutshell. Oh, and also under UNOC we have two subsidiaries. We have the Uganda Refinery Holding Company, which is in charge with, which is tasked with building that the refinery in Hoima, and also managing the petrochem industry, the Kabale Industrial Park, which is the Kabale of Hoima, not Kabale. Then we also have the National Pipeline Company, which is the one that participates in the construction of the storage terminals, but also in the East African crude oil pipeline. Those are the subsidiaries under the Uganda National Oil Company.
Now, Angela, that said, one would wonder, you talked about ensuring for future generations. How is UNOC? Because oil can be a blessing to a nation, but also can be a curse to a nation. So how is UNOC ensuring that we secure the future of the next generation?
Of the next generation. Yes, that's a very valid question. So Uganda as a nation has what they call the tenfold strategy. So Uganda wants to grow its GDP from 50 billion US dollars to 500 billion, and as by 2040. So UNOC as a company ties into that, not just because of oil and gas that we are operating, but because it's a spur of industrialization. So for example, when we take the resource out of the ground and we refine it, the material that is left after refining goes into feedstock that feeds other industries like agriculture, because you know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda. That also goes into feedstock for for industries like plastics, like pharmaceuticals, like cosmetics. So UNOC as a company operating in oil and gas is a spur for industrialization that will help the country first of all meet that strategy for the tenfold growth strategy, and also ensure that industrialization is booming for the future generation. We also produce from what is left over from the refining process, it goes into roads, but also the amount of money that petroleum will bring into the industry will help to spur infrastructure development, schools, hospitals, so that the future generation will find resource that they can use to develop further.
And our assurance there, let's look at 10 years of existence. One would want to know the achievements thus far.
We have immense achievements. I mean, you can imagine day one what it must have looked like, saying that, okay, you are now the Uganda National Oil Company, here is your small office, start employing people. Yeah. So from day one, you've employed 2-3 people. We are now about 195. 100% Ugandans. We called home resources that were living abroad that had the expertise. We called them home. So that is a great achievement, to be called home to work for your own country and in an industry you understand well. So that is a great achievement, going from employer number 1 to 194. Then another achievement, UNOC has been participating as a silent partner, if you will, because our mandate was to hold the state's participating interest in the Telenga project, which is manned by Total, and in the Kingfisher project, which is manned by CNOC. So we hold the state's participating interest. But now we own our own license. We got in the second licensing round, UNOC got its own license called the Kasurubani. And now we have our own block, the Kasurubani block, which we own 100%. And so we are now the ones going out looking for joint venture partners that can come and partner with us in exploring and developing this block. So that is, it has taken us from silent partner to operatorship, which will create value for UNOC and also for Uganda as a country. And then in the downstream, we started, I remember in 2020, when we imported as a pilot 400,000 liters of petroleum product. At that time, we only had one oil marketing company, which was Starbex, and we delivered 400,000 million liters. But to date, we have delivered the upwards of 2 billion liters of petroleum products ever since we became the sole importer of petroleum in 2023. So going from a bulk trader delivering 400,000 to becoming a sole importer that is delivering the upwards of 2 billion is a great achievement for UNOC. Then we were also being handheld in managing the ginger storage terminal. We had a partner that was teaching us how to work on how to manage a storage terminal. But now we are managing the ginger storage terminal 100% by ourselves, and we are also now seeing very clearly the construction and the roadmap for building the Kampala storage terminal. It is quite clear we are getting a partner and we are going to construct it. So we've come from a lot of paperwork, signing the dotted line, to actually moving into real operations. And that is a great achievement for UNOC.
Now, talking about the achievements, my major concern, we know oil is a business that when you mention, everyone thinks of money. Globally, thinks of money. Everyone would think and wish to work there, if I may say that. Now, let's look at local content. That is my other area of interests, because we know, I love when you said we called back expatriates to come and work. But we know we have partners that aren't Ugandans. So how is UNOC fostering and pushing local content?
Okay. So, of course, we are, first of all, as Uganda, there's a national content strategy that UNOC must play into. So UNOC also, from that one, cascades down and builds its own national content plan and how we will forward that strategy. So first of all, we do a lot of, we finance heavily the skilling entities like UPIC, where we want to produce field-ready manpower. We ensure that these people are skilled, but we are also ensuring that they get international certification like OPITO and city and guilds, so that they are not just being prepared to work on the Ugandan market or the East African market, but they are able to work on the international scene. We also have welding program sponsorships where we sponsor the youth to go and partake of these welding programs. We moved from 3G to 5G, and we are now at 6G welding programs. The top 5 students that emerge from these programs, we usually give them starter packs so that they can go and start their own welding shops. But mostly the students that finish these sponsorships are usually embedded into the programs like ECOP, and also taken up by the subcontractors in the oil and gas. We also do agriculture trainings in the areas of operation, and we ensure that 50% of the people that partake of those agriculture trainings are women. So we give them seedlings, we teach them how to plant them, how to care for them, how to do small scale farming, because maybe not so many people have a lot of land, but how can you benefit from what you have? We train them so that they can train others. And this is, we are very big on this. And then we also have where we do school counseling. We go to different schools to train the girl child about oil and gas, to empower the students to stay in school, to talk to them about the benefits of what it is when you finish school. And in that element of career guidance, we also help with sanitary health, because so many girls in the district are leaving school due to menstrual issues. So we have done programs where we teach the community how to make reusable sanitary towels. We give them out, but we want a sustainable solution. So as opposed to just handing out the reusable packages, we teach them how to make them so that it's a continuous process. So there are so many initiatives in which we ensure skilling is done for the nationals, but also as a company we do secondments, because UNOC is just 10 years old, but you can imagine the wealth that Total has or CNOC. And so we've partnered greatly with international players that are stronger than us in this oil and gas space, and we place our different staff in those companies to learn from them so that they can bring that technological transfer home. Yeah.
Well, very interesting. I love the placement. Because then our own are gaining experience, are gaining skills that are not in the country. Now, let's also look at how UNOC's role has evolved in Uganda's oil and gas sector since inception.
Oh, yes. I think I had earlier touched on it. We have evolved so much. As I was explaining to you, from going from Officer 1 to 190-something staff, from bringing petroleum products of 400,000 to now bringing in to being the sole importer, the only person that transports petroleum products into the country, to the upwards of 2 billion, to partnering, from going from partnering with one oil marketing company to now partnering with 200 oil marketing companies. And we hold consistent workshops with them to gain their trust, because of course the process is also new to them. They've been used to a certain way of doing things, and now they have to get used to this. So we are creating that relationship. So we have evolved immensely from being a company that is only holding the government stake to now becoming a full operator of a block, the Kasurubani block, and going out to source for a joint venture partner. We are evolving also in the refining process, in the sense that initially we had the refinery on paper, we had done our feed, we had done our studies, we had understood the kind of refinery we wanted and the products it was going to produce, but we had never signed on the dotted line for who is the partner in that refinery. And recently, I think you saw that we got Alpha to be our partner in the refinery. So now the refinery project is looking very clear, and we know where we are heading with that. And then on the terminals, we have also become very clear on where we are heading with the Kampala storage terminal. So everything that was initially on paper is beginning to become very clear. And now we know where we are headed, we are getting partners, we are strategizing, we are setting ourselves strategically to move those projects from paper into real life for the benefit of all Ugandans.
Now, so much success, I must say, for the journey of 10 years. I like the, where we've seen how you've evolved over the years, making them 10. But I must believe that these cannot happen without challenges. Please also let's look at some of the outstanding challenges.
Well, I mean, you can imagine oil and gas, even you when you think about it.
I think, man, you
yeah, exactly.
talk about oil and gas before them moving my vehicle or whatever. I think, man.
So to start, and they say now you're the national oil company, and you are going into a space with Total that has existed for over 100 years. You're going into a space with CNOOC, and then here is the National Oil Company. Oil was fairly new to Uganda. So first of all, oil and gas as an industry is high capital intensive. We did not have the money to partner in those big projects, but we mitigated that by having joint ventures that carry us. So they say, we'll pay for you, and then when the resource comes, you pay us back in such and such a process. And that kind of helps put you in those spaces, because you need to acquire the technological knowledge to actually operate your own block. So if you sit back and say, I will wait until I have money, then you will never acquire skills. So the biggest challenge we had was financing. Then we also had a challenge on the technological power, manpower, because oil and gas was new. We didn't have enough skilling in the country, and that is, I guess, why we had to also call home our expatriates who had the skilling. But as we have gone over these past years, and that those secondments, they've helped us acquire that kind of knowledge, but we are still growing in that industry. Then also gaining trust was a big issue, I think. Most Ugandans did not believe that a small national oil company could compete or could get in a space with the big boys like Total and CNOOC and all the big players that are out there. And that mistrust kind of usually puts a lot of blockages on when you request for things. You know, people are not sure, will you handle, will you manage? So it takes a process for you to build that trust, to show your capabilities, to show that you have a financial muscle. And so those are some of the challenges we have had to encounter. But I think after these 10 years, we have been able to show that we are capable financially, that we have partnered internationally with the strong boys like Vitol. We have partnered with Koslu. We've partnered with Petronas, we've partnered with Total and CNOOC, and that is not something people can downplay anymore.
Well, very interesting. We are looking at Uganda National Oil Company commemorating or making 10 years of existence or since inception. And with me, I have the Senior Communications Manager of UNOC, with whom we are looking at how the journey has been, some of the challenges. And of course, I know there is a question I'll ask later on after this break that every Ugandan is eager, those that have not yet known, when will we have our first oil? Everywhere you go, they ask you that. But of course, we need also to go back and look at a clear update of how the process is moving just after this break. Now, allow me to go for a commercial break. I'll return very shortly.
UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends friends to form a team of 4 and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. We are looking at 10 years of UNOC, the Uganda National Oil Company, that has been running and is running issues to do with oil on our behalf. We trusted, and we are still trusting, Angela here and the big team. For us, we are seated and watching and saying, yes, our interests, you're the people to push for them. Now, Angela, there is a very big concern, and I would like to know, how is UNOC balancing economic growth and the environment in terms of sustainability? So much talk in the oil sector, the environment. How are you handling this?
Okay. So oil and gas as an industry has a lot of standards that you must meet. For example, you must follow every project that we partake of has the environmental social impact assessment done on it. You can imagine the companies that are coming to invest in those different projects. They are not bringing little money, okay? They are bringing billions and billions. So they cannot afford to be investing in projects that are not environmentally sustainable, because as a world we are all working towards cleaner energy. So every project we partake of has an environmental social impact assessment to ensure, do you have a plan for how you clear the environment of waste? Do you have a plan of how you put back the environment the way you found it? Do you have a noise cancellation plan? Do you have a plan for emissions? So UNOC as a company also does environmental social impact assessments. We follow IFC standards for all our projects. And the companies that we partner with also come and carry out their own independent audits to ensure that indeed what we say we are doing, we are doing. Thirdly, we have a greening strategy whereby we are planning on planting 40 million trees and afforestation, because trees are a mitigator for emissions. So we are carrying out that strategy. We are carrying out that strategy to ensure that as much as we shall produce emissions, there will be a carbon capture for those emissions. We also I'm sorry. Yes, and then our projects such as the storage terminals are strategically located to ensure that the transportation of product is reduced, and therefore that reduces leakages. So there's a lot of sustainability and that we do within our projects to first of all make them to put them at international standard in order for us to acquire international joint venture partners. Yes.
Now, for the interest of my viewer, please kindly take us through, if you may, the process. You know, where are we now in the oil exploration journey? We talked about the upstream, the midstream, the downstream, Kilenga, that is Kingfisher, because Ugandans may not know much. First, this is a restricted area. The second, it's oil, and indeed Ugandans it should be. But just create a picture for my viewer as we wait for our first oil. Yes.
So where we are now currently, as we head into the first oil, which is what I know you're trying to lead to, when is first oil?
Yes, many Ugandans are eager to know when are we going to have our first oil, but also just to give them a brief information of how the journey and how we are proceeding or moving so far.
Yes. So on all our projects, we are on track. The Telenga project has, it has reached where the oil is. So what happens is that before you open the taps to release the oil, there's a way you case it, you push the pipes in there, you reach the oil, and then you close it. So we have the Telenga and the Kingfisher project is on track to go. But we are now waiting for the pipeline which will transport our crude, which is also on track. For example, the reduction pump stations have been constructed. The pump has been laid to a great extent, but it has not been buried because it has to be welded. You lay it, but you have to keep welding it, attaching it, because it's extremely long. The pump yards have been constructed. Where the central processing facilities for both Telenga and Kingfisher are ready, are almost at completion. The central processing facility is where the oil will first stop when it comes from the Telenga project to remove all impurities before it can head into the pipeline. So Telenga has its own processing facility, Kingfisher has its own processing facility, and those are all nearing completion. So we are on track, and we are expecting that first oil will be within the next year in good time. But I just want to ask the Ugandan to understand that while first oil is a major milestone, it is better for a Ugandan to stay in this space, because right now is when most subcontractors are here and investing a lot of money. But when first oil comes, then we start a process of decommissioning, because then everything starts now to go down a bit slower. So I know people are so eager for first oil. Where is first oil? When is it coming? But the Ugandan at the grassroots benefits more in this space where there are so many subcontractors that still need a lot of material and resources and manpower than after first oil. Because once first oil comes, everything starts to decommission. Some subcontractors will leave the industry, some materials that were required will have been used and so will not need anymore, so everything will start to slow down. But right now, before first oil, a lot of money is being pumped into the economy, a lot of human resources required, a lot of industry is open to most of the Ugandans, as low as a person selling granates, because now there's a lot of flocking the industry of human people, of people entering the country. So this is a very good time for a Ugandan to prosper from the oil and gas sector. Now
you've opened a can of worms when you tell Ugandans that there are so many opportunities now. The question would be, how do they partake of these opportunities? I don't want you to leave the set and people start calling me saying, Robert, you hosted the PRO of UNOC, she said opportunities, now me. And
I think the issue is that most people think that to benefit from oil and gas, you have to work for UNOC, or you have to work for Total and CNOC, or you have to work for a subcontractor. No, it's not the case. You can benefit from oil and gas exactly where you are. So let's say, for example, you sell cement, or you sell these shops that sell construction materials. You can benefit from oil and gas. And let me tell you, there is so much that is required that one individual will not handle. But I think I feel like we have spoken this story over and over again, and we have been holding a lot of supplier development workshops where we talk to suppliers, we teach them how to form associations, we teach them to gather, because the materials required will be more when you gather, when you come together into associations. But of course, I can appreciate that the information doesn't reach everybody. And so now that maybe I'm here, and if I am speaking to a new audience, I just want to implore you that please form associations. If you are a chicken seller, please form associations with other chicken sellers and sell to the oil and gas camps. Find the companies that are catering for oil and gas camps, because there are about 4,000 men on camp, men and women on camp, who do rotation. You can imagine how many eggs that person needs to eat for breakfast, one person. So do you think that one farmer that has an egg farm will supply a camp for a week even? No. So there will need to be associations formed in order for them to have a lot of stock given. So jobs are there. Just stop. I request that we stop focusing on the, I need to work in this particular company, I want to enter. See what other ways you can make money out of oil and gas without specifically working in a blue-collar job or entering a specific company. You can also search that out, and we have always posted our jobs on the internet. Okay. But as I was explaining to you, UNOC has 190 staff. That is a drop in the ocean. So if your target is UNOC, we have not yet even passed 300 employees. We are at 190. So let's just look for other opportunities that we can get through oil and gas without specifically wanting to enter specific companies. Although even those opportunities are there, and if you check our website, we usually post those opportunities. So if you qualify, please do apply. I implore you to apply, but I also implore you to form associations and be service providers to the oil and gas sector.
Now, I'm also interested to know regarding the refinery, because to me, who is a farmer, the byproducts are so much of my interest to that. Now, tell us how far we have gone. There are countries I know that even don't have refineries. Now, when Ugandans, when we talked about a refinery, I had to go and research about the Dangote refinery, and I think it's one of those that really, so I got a picture of what we are planning to have as a country, but also please let my viewer know that Uganda, we are in for refinery, and how this stands to benefit us as a nation.
And it's good that you have used Nigeria as an example. Nigeria has a lot of oil and gas resource, but for a long time has not benefited the nation, until now that the Dangote refinery has come up, and they will probably benefit. So how a refinery stands to benefit the country? Number one, we use about 7 billion liters in Uganda, and the population is growing at 9% annually. So that means our refinery will be producing 60,000 barrels per day. That means that we shall have more and excess to spend here and also to give to other markets around us. Now, while that is very important in the sense that we have been using about 20 billion, I think, 20 billion US dollars annually on imports of petroleum products, that money now gets to stay in the country and can enter different sectors as opposed to importing petroleum products. But also, the refinery where it is situated has the industrial park next to it, the petrochemical industrial park. So when you refine, when you refine crude, there are elements of crude that stay. Okay? After you've taken out the crude, the gas, and all the other clean, the other white products that are going to be sold into the market, the products that stay, I will use an example of a sieve, a kasengeja. So when you put in the tea, you have taken the tea, now the things that stay on the sieve, those feed into other petrochemical industries. They feed into, as I told you, pharmaceuticals. Most of the tablets we take come from products of petroleum. They feed into cosmetics for women. They feed into tar for the road. They feed into fertilizer. They feed into metal, this hip replacement, you know that. So the offsets that come from the refinery are enormous. So when you hear people saying that we shouldn't go ahead, we should stop petroleum, almost everything about human, everything you use, your cell phone is being powered by petroleum. You will not believe that the clothes you're wearing are powered by petroleum. There are elements in your jacket that come from petroleum, elements in your shirt. These mics we are using have elements of petroleum. So when you say we need to stop producing petroleum, as most countries have been saying, as you have heard from some of the CSOs, a few of the CSOs that are being watered by foreign supporters, that elements that we don't know. And they are saying, stop petroleum, stop petroleum. We cannot stop petroleum. Petroleum is, even those who are watching TV are being powered by petroleum. That TV you are watching on is powered by petroleum. So there is going to be a great, great offset of our refinery that will spur industrialization in Uganda. But also I want people to know that where the refinery sits is the second international Ugandan airport, which means that people will be able to land directly in Hoima, which will spur tourism. So now Hoima is going to become like a second capital city, because now hotels are going to grow there, food is going to have to increase there to feed the population that's flying in, UBC is going to have to shift there, insurance companies are going to go down there, and slowly by slowly that also starts to impact the neighboring communities. So a lot of industrialization happens, a lot of urbanization happens, a lot, and all that arising from one project that sparked everything off.
Now, Angela, another question that the public usually ask there, we have Total, we have Sinop, and now we are bringing in other contractors, subcontractors, like you said. There is usually a talk that, yes, the oil is Ugandan, but our counterparts that have taken on roles, Uganda may end up only taking a drop of the share, and the rest take the lion's share. Now, Sinop, for us, we are watching. Our trust is in you to push for our interests. How true, and please some intake into that.
So the agreements that have been negotiated with the different companies, the Totals and Sinox, are in such a way that Uganda cannot lose. First of all, we are getting royalties. Royalties means that we are being paid a percentage for owning the resource. Okay? Just because the resource is within our soil, we get a percentage. And that is outside the 15% that UNOC is holding in Total, and outside the 15% that UNOC is holding in Kingfisher. So we get paid royalties, then we get paid taxes because the companies are here, they have to pay some taxes. Then we get UNOC, because it's participating within the oil and gas space with Total and Sinok. When they take a profit, we also take a profit because we are a joint venture partner. So when you add up all the things that we are getting, we get to the upwards of about 75%, yes? So you know, Uganda is not losing. Uganda is not losing. First of all, I want you to remember that Total and Sinok are here. They are investing in our hotels, those who are staying in hotels. They are investing in our real estate because they are paying rent in homes where they live. So there's no way Uganda can lose. They are buying our food. That all comes back into our market. They are employing our people, because when you go to Total, there are Ugandans working there. When you go to Sinok, there are Ugandans working there, even subcontractors. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, which is in charge of regulating the oil and gas sector, has ring-fenced 16 industries that international companies are not allowed to touch, that are only for Ugandans. So if you are not a Ugandan company, you cannot work in those 16 fields. You cannot do logistics, you cannot do communications, you cannot do HR services, you cannot do this paper. There are 16 industries on the Petroleum Authority of Uganda's website that are ring-fenced for only Ugandans. And then those other companies that fly in with high technology that have come to do things that maybe we don't know, Petroleum Authority of Uganda requires them to show a training plan. Which Ugandan are you training to take over? So in their reports, they must always go quarterly and explain, this is where we are, this is the Ugandan we are training, and this is how much he has learned. So there is no way Uganda will lose in this oil and gas sector. There are so many things in place to ensure that the Ugandan benefits.
So the fear that really we may lose out, finally oil is not a permanent resource. It comes to a time when all these wells can no longer give oil. But the assurance is we will not lose. Now, 10 years down the road, let's look into the future.
So the 10 years have been really to lay foundation, great foundation on which we are now going to expand. We have created partnerships, as I explained, with international players who have helped us with a wealth of knowledge, who have allowed to partner with us and carry us in these capital-intensive ventures. So the next century for us now is a go kind of century. It's time to plug and play now. It's time to actually build this refinery. It's time to build this, to construct this pipeline. It's time for us to have a storage terminal in Kampala. It's time for us to increase our sole importation and stabilize it, because it's now been just 1 year. We've learned the challenges and we have learned the market trades on how to import petroleum. So now the next 10 years is how do we farm up? How do we become better than we were in the last 10 years? How do we now finally see that these projects that were on paper actually make an economic impact for Uganda and for UNOC? Yes.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, Angela, for your time, and above all, you, the viewer, those that have been with us from 6:30 till now, thank you so much. I've been with Angela Ambaho, who happens to be the Senior Communications Officer at UNOC, the Uganda National Petroleum Company that is running the oil business on our behalf. See you tomorrow. God willing, have a blessed Thursday.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses,